broadcasting from an undisclosed location, from a secret hunting spot known only to him, and the guy who told him about it, and possibly the guy who told him. It's a show all about hunting in New Zealand and around the globe. This is The Hunting Show. Find The Hunting Show on Facebook and Twitter for up-to-date information on upcoming shows and topics.
Welcome back to another episode of The Hunting Show. I'm your host, Stephen Spargo, and yes, we have had a little bit of hassle with Blog Talk Radio. Their service is great, the way that their setup works is awesome, except they've had some problems at their end, and we're kind of trying to work our way through those to make sure that the show goes on, so to speak. Those of you who tune in on iTunes or iHeartRadio won't notice virtually any difference at all, so those are the two services that I recommend. If you've got iTunes, go on there, subscribe to the show. Ultimately, you'll find it a whole lot easier to get content, and it'll automatically download, and you can listen to it on demand. Labour weekend in New Zealand has just gone, so we got a little bit of an extra day off. Well, some of us did. I personally didn't. And one thing that I noticed was a lot of parents taking their kids out hunting for the first time. And part of me wondered, how prepared are they? What sort of experience are your kids going to have when going out hunting if the gear that they have or the preparation that you've done is inadequate? Food and drinks on a hunt are a must for a kid. If the poor old mite's out there getting hungry, you're not going to give that child a good experience. And are they really going to get into it as an adult? Remembering they do get a little bit thirstier than adults. Also, I wonder how many adults take their kids out and basically expect them to keep up with them. How fun is it, particularly Monday, which was a little bit of a rainy day, how fun is it when kids are out there cold, wet, hungry, and not really getting anywhere? I just urge you, and I'm sure most of you are prepared and you take your kids out if you've got them in a manner that's useful to them and that they'll enjoy. Just remember that. If your son or daughter doesn't enjoy the hunting experience, how do we expect them to get into it and take on our sport as their own? Just pay heed to that or have a listen. And there's a great website called realtree.com with a whole lot of tips about taking kids out hunting and what to do. So check that out, realtree.com. There's an article there, 10 mistakes when taking kids out hunting. I had a quick read through it. Very, very relevant, but be prepared. Take them out. Make sure they have a thoroughly enjoyable experience, and you will reap the rewards later on when your son and daughter is out there enjoying it. And for that matter, niece, nephew, granddaughter, grandson. Another person trying to make hunting in New Zealand a little bit more fun is Tim Dunn, the developer of the HUNTAPOINT app. How are you, Tim?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Before we kick into what this app is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your hunting career?
Well, yeah, it all started probably about 6 years ago for me. And I was just, I got invited to go on a hunt up in Oxford. And I got addicted to the hunting drug.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then from there, you've also got, is it a clothing brand as well?
Yeah, I'm also the owner of, Bushbuck hunting clothing and accessories. And that also got born out of that hunting trip as well with just kind of overpriced gear and my wife not letting me buy the expensive hunting gear. So I was like, man, I have to do something about this. So that's how Bushbuck got born.
It reminds me of that adage, that the only wish is if I die, I don't want my wife to sell my guns for what I told her I paid for them, eh?
Exactly.
So, Tim, you've developed an app that's centred on New Zealand hunting. What made this come about? How did it pop into your brain?
Well, it all started when I tried to, plan hunts, and we've got so much valuable resource in New Zealand with the Department of Conservation website and other resources around, but they're all over the place, and it was just very time-consuming. You had 5 or 6 screens open on your computer, and trying to plan this thing. And I was like, surely there's got to be an easier way to do this. So that's kind of how the HUNTAPOINT idea started.
But surely this was a long time coming. I was surprised there's nothing quite like this available for New Zealanders yet. There's the odd Hunters app in other countries, but nothing still quite like what you've developed.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, I thought the hunters needed something powerful at their fingertips. I mean, it's been a complex journey, but yeah, no, we've pulled it together over kind of 2 years. This app design. So
now, right now I can't download the app because it's still on the way. But if I go ahead and download this app, what am I going to see? What am I going to find within the app?
Basically, it's going to have everything that you needed to plan your hunt. It has a built-in TOPOMAP, so that everything you look at on the application will be downloaded offline. So it will come in, and you'll need it to be online to start off with until you've downloaded the map, and then that will save to your phone. The app has hundreds and hundreds of spots in all the regions in New Zealand that we provide. It also has the ability to add your own spot, manipulate your own spot, and then share that with your friends. It has species filter. It has a GPS location dot that you can press at any time and then save that location. And then also you have the ability to share the public map, which not all hunters will want to do.
I was about to ask you that, actually. Do I have to share?
No. So you can share it on your own private map, and then you can choose to share it to a public map. But this hasn't been set up to be like give away your hunting spot. It's been more set up to find hunting buddies to go hunting with. So basically, you're at a spot and you'll say, I'm keen to hunt this area, and I'm keen to. It has a list, and basically it says, are you looking for someone to go hunting with? And then you can go check out their profile, and then you can add them as a friend, and then you can plan a hunt with that person, or message them, see if they're not dodgy or whatever. So that's kind of how that kind of works, and that's the idea behind that. Because I think a few hunters probably would take it that they're giving away their hunting spot, but that's not quite true because we give you all the hunting spots. So, yeah.
Now, is the app going to be free, or is it going to be locked behind some sort of paid door?
It's going to be free, so it can be downloaded and by everyone to use freely. But it has basically limited functionality where when you download the free version, the TOPOMAP, you can add your own spot, you can share all your own spots, but for the spots that we provide, that's what you have to pay for, and it's a really small cost. It's about $1 to $4, depending on the available spots in that region. So,
yeah. One thing I wondered, and this is purely me cooking up ideas, is does it have deer calls in there? I thought that'd be really cool. You just hook up your iPhone speaker, push a button, deer calls built into your app. How cool would that be?
Well, it's really cool. We're probably going to have to add that in, and maybe give you royalties. But
yeah. I'll send you my invoice.
Yeah, exactly. That's the great thing about like kind of applications today. It's nothing's set in concrete. It's not like a book. You can just continue adding these cool features to it, safety features. We've got so many ideas where possibly later on. This could kind of, if you bump into anyone in a close vicinity within 50 to 100 metres or even a kilometre, you might be able to see them in the bush and kind of know if users are using the same application. You might be able to see them hunting in the bush. And we haven't put those kind of that functionality in just yet. But it's just the start of something, and it's exciting to see where it kind of goes.
I did note that at this stage you're only looking at releasing it onto iPhone. Is there an Android version coming out anytime soon?
Yeah, absolutely. We started with iPhone, and but still the number of users is a lot higher on the iPhone for kind of a smartphone, but that's picking up with kind of the Samsung Galaxy S being waterproof and stuff like that. A lot of hunters are quite interested in that kind of phone. So, we're going to quickly get it onto Android, but first we want to make sure all the code's tidy on iPhone because basically it's a transfer process to go to Android as it's completely different code. So, yeah.
I had a look online to the video, and I will post a link to this video and your website in the comment section of this podcast. But the video actually it looked very clean looking app. You know, a lot of apps are very optically intense. You're out hunting, that's going to be hard to try and work them and put your big thumbs on it. It actually looked nice and clean and easy to use. Has that been your goal here?
Absolutely. We've taken similar kind of applications, like international applications that have no relevance to hunting but have really great usability, and we've kind of modelled the application off that rather than starting from scratch going, you know, this button goes here and this button goes here and just making a big mess of it. We've actually just used interfaces that have really worked, and they've spent the time kind of putting it all the thought into how the whole function of the app works, and so we modelled it off an international kind of app. It's come out really well. So, yeah.
And I'm assuming you've been using this out in the field. You've taken this app out hunting. I know that when you develop an iPhone app, and in another life I've been involved with some of that, you can play with it before you release it. How's it worked? Have you found anything you'd like to add? Obviously there's ideas kicking around, but is it really everything you wanted it to be?
It is everything I want it to be at the moment. And I think the users are going to really tell us what they want in the application, I suppose, and we're going to encourage the users to kind of message their thoughts and develop this app with us, because we want it to be the best hunting app there is for all New Zealand hunters. Yeah.
Any plans to push it out to other countries?
Yeah, there is. It's a lot different in other countries because they don't have the same resource that we have with getting permits and just logging in and checking out regions on Department of Conservation and stuff like that. But we're interested in kind of how it can work for other countries, and we've got some good ideas. Say for Australia, it will be we would probably get the farmers to kind of list their own spots, and they kind of set the rules and maybe a price to hunt on their farm or something like that, because, Australia is such a different place. You need insurances, you need all that kind of stuff. So they can set all the terms and conditions and of kind of hunting their property and stuff like that. So,
are we going to see a link on there to the hunting show?
On the app? Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Come on, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we can chuck that in. I'll contact you later about that.
Yeah. I just thought I might as well try and get in there while I can.
Just because you got me on air,
you got to corner them when you can. Tim, it sounds like a fantastic idea. Now, you did mention that some functions won't work when you haven't got cell phone coverage. Most of the places I hunt, I have little or no cell phone coverage at all. But that's improving.
Yeah, so it doesn't rely on cell phone coverage. Obviously, there's limited functionality when you're out in offline mode. So basically, if you were to go into kind of flight mode on your phone, you'd be able to use all the TOPOMAPs that you'd downloaded currently at your home previously when you were planning the hunt. Right. So it loads the map tiles onto your phone, and so whatever you've looked at on your phone and downloaded will be on there when you go offline. But there's still a lot of things we'll try work through, and we just really want to make this app work for New Zealanders and especially offline, because this is something we're aware of, and that was one of the major specs with this app, that offline functionality was key.
One of the things I was really excited about is when you do get an Android app. Of course, a lot of the GPSs now, like the Garmin Montana, and I'm not being paid to say that, actually have Android operating systems built on them in the Google Play Store, all in there. So potentially you could actually have this app loaded onto your Garmin GPS and not your phone. Have you gone down that path?
Absolutely. Not currently. But as we go into Android development, this is something that we'll look into, and it's something that we're aware of. So, there's lots of kind of exciting things. There's even the likes of these kind of, I saw it on a tech website the other day, a satellite battery pack, a satellite phone plug-in battery pack that straps onto your iPhone. There's all this new technology that's coming out for hunters each day, or to get into those kind of remote places and stuff like that. But we're going to be definitely
Unfortunately, that satellite dongle for your iPhone's not going to be available for a little while, because I've already looked into that and it doesn't quite cover New Zealand. It's an Australian thing, unfortunately. But,
right.
Yeah,
Wow.
bugger, eh? But it is coming, I'm sure, at some point. Now, you're obviously getting out there and doing a fair bit of hunting, although developing an app or hosting a radio show kind of limits your time somewhat. You must have a decent hunting story kicking around.
Yeah, no, I thought about this. And the funniest story actually happened on the family farm down in Fairlie, and it happened a couple of months before Christmas. And I was, me and my mate were out spotlighting on the farm, just hunting wallabies, and we've actually got a few fallow deer around the farm. Mm-hmm. So this is what primarily we were after, because they jump into all the winter feed paddocks, and we're trying to get one just on the off chance. So I was driving and my mate was on the back, and we came into this paddock, and I thought possibly there was a forest, and I thought possibly these deer we're approaching were the fallow deer that we had thought. But as we got closer, we're like, man, there's a big mob of them. And we're like, quick, light it up. And it lit it up, and sure enough, went bang. My mate in the back of the truck was going, shot it, and we realised that when we'd actually looked, when we found these deer, they were inside a deer fence, and they were just normal old red hinds. But yeah, so that's kind of the story. That doesn't really stop there though, because I went back home. I felt very guilty. And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning at this point, and I knocked on my father-in-law's door and was like, Steve, are you awake? And yeah, like I had to apologise greatly for shooting this deer. And he's like, well, Barbara, his wife, next to him was like, you could have done it in the morning, kind of thing. So yeah, but yeah, no, we felt very bad about doing that. But and then I also won a trophy at the end of the year. We've got this family trophy called the Dipstick Award, which is just an old dipstick hammered onto a bit of wood. And then my father-in-law actually told the story and made it sound a whole lot more funny, and called it his prime breeding hind and all this kind of stuff, and worth $25,000 and all this kind of stuff. Made this big story up. Everyone was loving it. I didn't want, like I told them before this Dipstick Award that you can't nominate me. I don't want anything to do with it. It's too soon. I'm really embarrassed. Yeah, I'm really embarrassed. And yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the funny story. It's not quite the outdoors in the dock, but I've got plenty of those as well, but they're not quite as exciting as that one. So yeah. So
when are we going to see the HUNTAPOINT app available?
It will be available, I'm thinking, in the next couple of weeks. We're just doing the upload now. So I've got it to a point where it's at a good stage to launch. There'll always be a few weaning issues, but we'll work through those as quick as possible.
Look, I look forward to seeing it, and I hope that in a couple of weeks' time it gets plenty of downloads. How about what we do is in a couple of weeks after that, or a few months after the app's been launched, we get you back on the show, see how you're going, see what changes have been made. And like you said, isn't it great? This thing's kind of fluid. It'll keep changing and updating and getting better and better.
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Oh, thank you for your time. And remember, I will be downloading it, and I will post a review sometime on the show, or particularly on Facebook. And by the way, you have got a Facebook page too, haven't you? Yep.
That's just type in HUNTAPOINT. You can look for the spelling. You might even put a link on your page, Stephen.
Yeah, so. No, I'll definitely do that for you. No worries at all. I mean, I've been a bit cheeky, so you deserve one back. And remember, that's HUNTAPOINT with an A, isn't it? So HUNTAPOINT. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What's with the weird spelling, man?
Well, you have to do unique spelling for trademarks these days, and that's kind of how we did it. Yeah. Because, if you just had HUNTAPOINT as 3 words, it's not unique enough. And, to have something unique and that can, really have a brand around, you need it to be like that, I suppose. But, yeah.
No worries at all. Hey, thank you very much, Tim, for coming on the show. Look forward to seeing the app. Have a good one, eh?
Yep, no, cheers, Stephen. All right. See ya.
That's it, another episode of The Hunting Show. Remember, you can go back through old shows, listen to things in archive that still interest you. In fact, that was the whole idea of the show, is it's on-demand content. So you can go through, pick and choose, not listen to some, listen to others, although I think you should listen to all of them. And you can listen to them on whatever device you want. iHeartRadio is on Android and iPhone, and computer for that matter, where you can go to Blog Talk Radio's site and listen on there, but you can certainly listen on all sorts of devices when you want and how you want. We have another promotion coming up with NZ Outdoor Magazine, and it'll be the Fan of the Month on Facebook. All you need to do is keep an eye on our Facebook page. You could be our Fan of the Month and win yourself a subscription to that great magazine, all courtesy of The Hunting Show and NZ Outdoor Magazine. So check that out. Go to our Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook, have a look anyway. It might be worth getting Facebook just to follow us. It still interests me that we have some 30,000 downloads some weeks and we only have around 1,100 or 1,200 followers on Facebook. So please, if you listen, follow that Facebook page. It's the best way to keep up with what's going on, what interviews we've got coming up, and also fan suggestions. You can get in contact with me on info@thehuntingshow.co.nz or go to our website www.thehuntingshow.co.nz. Guys, be careful. Good hunting.
Broadcasting from an undisclosed location, from a secret hunting spot known only to him, and the guy who told him about it, and possibly the guy who told the guy who told him. It's a show all about hunting in New Zealand and around the globe. This is The Hunting Show. Find The Hunting Show on Facebook and Twitter for up-to-date information on upcoming shows and topics.